Hello and welcome to today's video. This is actually a really exciting one. It was filmed, well, started filming a few months ago now. We'd saved up a deposit for a house and decided to start looking. I am future Heather and I'll be popping in just from time to time to kind of explain what's happening. But yeah, let's just get started. Here we are calling some estate agents to get some viewings booked.
Like 999 years. I thought that was quite rare for them to do that.
I don't know.
But yeah, she said 999 years from the late 70s.
So it's probably minus about 30 years now.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you reckon that's definitely the right? I mean, she's going to send confirmation.
Yeah, I mean.
But do you reckon it's the right flat?
Yeah.
Why the hell did that other one have 85 years left?
Maybe when they bought it, that's what they paid for.
Maybe. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, they've got my address and email address. And saying we've got a meeting scheduled with a mortgage broker sounded like it was fine.
Cool. Oh, do you want to text the mortgage broker?
Already have.
Oh, nice. Well done. Do you want to say anything before I shut the recording off? Okay, so update. We've spoken to a mortgage broker today. And it looks like we can get a mortgage, and it looks like we can get it just in Jay's name for, like, at the moment, the flat that we really like the look of, and like, I really hope that when we go and see it on Saturday that it's actually nice. The pictures look amazing, but it's on really cheap for the area, so I just feel like there's going to be some sort of catch as to why it's at that price, and it's only been sold at £5,000 more than it was sold for 2 years ago. Okay, so just to explain, we were originally looking to get a flat or a small house in or around Bristol, and that is still where we want to live, but things changed, plans changed, and let's just get back into it. I'm just a bit worried there's going to be some sort of catch because I really like the look of it. But yeah, we spoke to a mortgage broker. They're going to do some research and get back to us tomorrow as to our choices. So it's all going really good. We've decided to go with a mortgage broker for a few reasons. One, it's a friend of my parents who they rate, so it's like, yeah, sure, sounds good to us. And two, at the moment when I'm filming this, obviously I don't know how long this video is going to be filmed over, but it's mid-July. We are just coming out of the coronavirus lockdown stage, and places are starting to offer 90% mortgages again, but a lot of them have a clause in it that they're not offering that for flats yet. So we found this place that we really like the look of, and we weren't meant to be looking seriously yet. It was meant to just be, we'll keep our eyes open. We really like it. And we basically decided if we don't get this one, it will be one of them in like this unit at some point this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's just a lot easier for someone who knows what they're doing to figure out where it's offering right now for our situation, because we didn't even know that we were going to end up with a flat going into this. And the only reason we are going with a flat is because it has quite a big like balcony area. It's quite a decent size, so like it is a flat, but how I would see it is a bit more like an apartment. There's not many in the building. It's only like 3 or 4 stories high depending on like what E-class it has. And yeah, so that's the plan. We've got a viewing on Saturday, and if we hear any more about the mortgage potential before then, we'll check back in. Okay, so update about the mortgage.
An application in principle was approved for just me.
Yeah.
And Heather will explain why.
I'm on a 0-hour contract and they're not being accepted at the moment, although I do think I've already explained that. Why we had to send off just Jay. And it is now Saturday and we are on our way to our first viewing of a flat that we are very, 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 very hopeful about. Yeah, I know that normally it takes a lot more viewings, but we're hopeful and we're very picky anyway. Like, out of all of the places in our budget, there were 2 that stood out and we managed to get viewed at one of them. So yeah, we're on our way. Hi, I'm Heather's mum. This is Neil. And we're taking Heather and Jay to go and view a flat, which is very, very exciting. We can't wait. It's one that they really like the look of. There's, I think, about 80 in the road. It's very, very exciting. So yeah, we're on our way and we'll let you know when we get there. Okay, so we only actually arrived around 20 minutes before our viewing, but whilst we were waiting and we were wandering around, Jay managed to call up another estate agent and get us another viewing booked for a flat on the same street. So I don't actually have any videos or pictures of the first flat because honestly, even though we're really excited about it, it was a bit of a flop. It was not for us. It basically started to be done up and never been finished. There was no boiler, no heating, multiple of the rooms were unfinished. Most importantly, the kitchen, there was half of one, brand new, been put in, half of one, but it was just half, it had never been finished. So it just required a lot of work, and it wasn't for us. We also weren't very happy with the estate agent showing us around this one. She treated us, as in like me and Jay, very differently as to how she treated my parents. That's something we can talk about in another video if like we go over experience or something, but I just wanted to mention it because I feel like even if it would have been the perfect place, we would have felt a bit weird about it. So yeah, let's go to the second viewing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but this one
Okay, so we've looked at 2 flats today. We looked at the first one, the one that we drove down for, and it was pretty nice, but it's not really exactly what we were hoping it would be. And we managed to get in another viewing of a different flat in the same kind of road of flats, and we really liked it. Problem is, it's a little bit above our budget, so we're going to go and find a coffee shop and have a chat and do some maths and figure out what we can afford and if we're going to put an offer in on Monday, basically. Yeah. So yeah, exciting stuff.
Yes. So my perspective of the 2 flats we've been to view today, I was really excited to go because I could see how excited Heather and Jay were. The first flat was really nice, it was big, however it needed quite a lot more work doing to it than we thought, and obviously you've got to add all of that consideration on. There was no heating, there was quite a lot of plastering. The electrics were a little bit weird, shall we go with, so that needed looking at. The kitchen wasn't finished, so there was just a lot to do. Added to that, there was quite a lot of noise, and because of how the balconies sit, there was quite a lot of things that had been thrown, like toys, so nothing horrible, but onto the balcony below. So that outside space that was really, really what they wanted, it wasn't going to be overly relaxing sitting there and having like a bottle of baby milk landing on your head. So it kind of put us off. So when we got the second viewing, it was up and at like the other end. In effect, we'd walked there earlier and we'd been greeted by a teeny weeny little cat that just really came out to say hello. So I'm going with that's karma. Could not be, but maybe. Anyway, so when we went to look in there, we all, bizarrely enough, got the vibe. Shush! They got the vibe that how nice it felt. You know, they always say you know when you walk in somewhere, and I walked in and thought this could be the one. And it looked, even though the other one was empty, this one had got furniture in. It felt bigger, it was spacious, it needs very little doing to it, and with a little bit of, look at them talking in the background, how rude. But anyway, with a little bit of love and care, I think this could be the one.
Apologies about that. My mum loves the camera and insisted on giving her opinion, but let's keep going.
Hello.
Hello. So we're gonna put an offer in.
Yep.
It's been a very stressful day.
Not really. We really like the flat. The asking price is over our budget. We've come up with a number that seems low, but we'd be like really happy to pay, and we think it seems possibly too low, but they might go for that. And we've come up with a more realistic high number that is like the max that we can actually afford.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call up tomorrow and make an offer with the low number, and then just see what they say. This has kind of solidified the plan to buy. So the flats that we're looking at is like a road with a load of flats on it.
And they're all the same type?
They're all pretty similar, yeah. So it's like we've pretty much solidified the plan that we want to buy a flat in that block, in that row of flats.
Yeah.
It's just, hopefully it'll be this one because we really like it.
Yeah. And we're already like planning it all out, or at least I am. So yeah, that's the plan so far. And Jay, I'll try and keep you updated tomorrow when he's putting offers in, if he can.
I'll definitely try. We put an offer in our flat. I called up this morning and said 172, and they said probably not, but we'll let you know. I also sent them the details of the application in principle, and I did like an ID verification where I had to take a selfie and take a photo of my passport, and scan the NFC on the passport as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the update for today. What do you think?
I'm excited, but I want to hear back from them already. I know they're going to say no to 172. I want to hear back off them with like a counter offer to it, so we can like get the ball rolling. But yeah, still excited, but I don't like the waiting.
But yeah, that's the update for today. If anything happens tomorrow, we'll do an update. Hello, so it's now the next day. It's Tuesday evening. There's been a bit of a development, a bit of a complication actually. So we've got a call from the estate agents, basically letting us know that the previous buyers, the one who they fell through, their mortgage was also with HSBC, and HSBC would not lend against the property that we've put an offer in against. So the reason that we're going with HSBC is because, for context, it's late July right now, so 90% mortgages are only just becoming a thing again. At the moment, or at least last week, we were advised by our mortgage broker that there are 3 banks doing 90% mortgages, and that was HSBC, the Co-op and Nationwide. And the Co-op and Nationwide weren't doing them on flats, they were only doing them on houses. So at the time, the only option for us was HSBC. I don't know if that's changed. I need to speak to the mortgage broker. But what I do know is HSBC won't lend against that property, so until I speak to the mortgage broker, we don't know what's happening basically.
Okay, so just to summarise, the building was constructed in a way that was no longer up to today's codes and standards, which meant most banks would not lend on it, and they won't lend on buildings if the construction of it is incorrect. We also still hadn't heard back about our offer at this time. In fact, we never heard back about our offer, which you will see in the next clip. Although we do think it would have been accepted because it's currently listed for a lot lower than what the offer we offered. So, and yeah, after listening to advice from like lots of different people and doing our own research into it, we decided that as it was not going to be the forever property, we would end up selling it at some point. As it was already so difficult to get a mortgage on it now, it would probably be really difficult to get a mortgage on it then. So we decided it would be best not to continue forwards with this. and to rethink the plan.
So we've got a little bit of an update.
A massive update.
So the construction thing that I was talking about, everyone that we've spoken to has basically said it sounds like a bad idea to continue with purchasing that property. So I'm going to call up the estate agents in the morning and retract the offer. And
we basically can't afford anywhere else in the area.
Yeah, so we were looking to live near Bristol, which is like ultimately the place that we want to live. So we were not compromising on location at all, but we were compromising on size, going for a flat rather than...
We made a big break on this.
And so the point of this is to figure out if we're not compromising on the location. If we are compromising on the location, let's not compromise on size and see what is available in the local area for cheaper, but at the right size. And we've come to a kind of a decision as to, there's a place nearby.
In the West Midlands.
It's in the Midlands. So it's a small town in the West Midlands, which is like close to where we are. And we can basically buy a 3-bedroom house there for the same price as the 2-bedroom flat, the cheaper one that we saw in Bristol.
For cheaper, probably.
Yeah, so it's like, at this point it's definitely worth going and looking at them.
Yeah, and there's 2 that we've found that I feel like are good contenders. There's 1 more as well, but there's no floor plan for it, so like we're gonna try and book some viewings and have a look.
Yeah. At this point, it's not a solid decision made, but it's
worth looking into.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to not at least look. So we're going to do that. We'll call up the estate agents in the morning. Well, we need to figure out when we can do viewings. We could potentially do Saturday morning before Heather starts work. So I'll at least call up tomorrow and see if we can fit any viewings in on Saturday. If not, we've both got some holiday books later in the month. So yeah.
Just how quick are they going to go? They've both just been added, it says on Zoopla, so hopefully they won't go too quick.
It does seem like things move a bit faster up here, so yeah. Maybe that means we need to move faster as well. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
So we've just gone through some properties. So yeah, we booked a couple of viewings for Saturday. Okay, so here is the footage from viewing number 1. Jay, this is like a really decent size. And here is the footage from viewing number 2. So that's a fence there, so that fence would need sorting. But I mean,
This goes into someone else's.
yeah, so that's next door garden, so they've brought this bit. But I mean, they've got a pear tree. We can swap our tomatoes for some pears. Yeah. And the bathroom's a decent size, it's just outdated. So yeah, we saw 2 houses on that day and we really liked both of them, but for very different reasons. The one of them was a 2-bedroom terraced house. It had really spacious bedrooms and it was ready to move into. The other was a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. The house was really spacious and it had an amazing garden, but it needed a lot doing to it. It was very outdated and needed stuff that would need doing before we could move in. And then this happened. How you feeling?
Nervous and excited.
So yeah, our offer was accepted, and that offer is actually for the house that I am sat in now. So that's very exciting and very cool to look back on. In the end, we decided to go for the 2-bedroom terraced house that we'd seen. It really seemed perfect, and for us it just felt like the perfect starter home. It had everything we needed and we could move straight in. Another massive factor of this was, at the time, it was also becoming more and more difficult to even get 10% mortgages, and this house was way under budget, which meant we could actually put down a 15% deposit and get a mortgage. We probably still could have found a 10% one. It just wouldn't have been at such a good interest rate as what we originally thought, and it also would have been a lot harder. There would have been a lot more back and forth and figuring out where to get it from. So yeah, all we had to do to this house before moving in was to paint. So that was perfect for us, and essentially we made the decision on the day after seeing both the places. We know we don't want to live around here forever, so to have gone for the other house and had so much work to do, and then only actually been able to live in like the finished house for a couple of years before moving, just didn't seem worth it to us. I'd love to do loads of work and get our forever home perfect and perfect and perfect, but didn't seem worth the, not the effort, but the effort to not continue on with it, to have something that required so much extra stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, do leave them down below. The next video is actually going to be the process of actually buying the house, so from the moment the offer was accepted until the exchange of the contracts, and a lot happened in that time. It was an interesting process, to say the least, to do with the sellers, to do with solicitors, to do with coronavirus and having to deal with that, and mortgage, like everything. Just, yeah, we got there and we're very happy that we did. So yeah, I hope to see you next time, but for now, bye.